Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Paint with Sean. So today we are continuing on the final piece of this painting that we have been working on for several episodes now. We've got our sunset picture over here. We're working on now the final tree. This is the big focus piece in the front. So because it is the most close to us, we're going to put the most detail into it. So today what our goal is to simply outline it, okay? There's a lot of light detail and some lighter browns and just some bark texture and a little bit of snow down the side of it. But the majority of this tree is going to be pretty well black. So today we've got just basically black on our board here. And I've got my script liner brush, and I'm going to get this wet so that this will be thinner. This will allow me to have very fine, exact edges as I basically draw the outline of it in paint with this script liner brush. So we'll get some water on our brush over here. We're going to pull out some of our black on our board here, and I'm just spinning this, okay? And then as you come out, you can make this just into a fine point. So you can see how this comes out like ink, all right? And that's what we're really looking for, okay? So we're going to start down here in this very bottom edge and be right over in here now. I always end up getting my sleeves in my paint. I have so many sweatshirts with paint on the sleeves. So we're just going to start down in here in this very bottom corner. And this is kind of respectfully about here. And I'm going to start on this little top edge. And it kind of comes over like this and comes down. And then we've got a little doodad right here that kind of does one of these numbers. Okay. And then all of this is just going to get blocked in. All right. So there's no real fancy method to adding the black parts in. Okay. So I'm just going to get the outline for the most part. I'm going to get the around the outside, and then I'll come back in and block it. So again, I'm just going to come back to my nice thin color, and I'm just twisting in there, and then drag it out and twist it as you pull. Okay, and that'll give it this nice little fine tip on it. All right. So we're just going to continue along, and we're going to have our fancy little outline here. So right at the tip of this is where it touches. Okay, so it comes down just a little bit, and down and back into this one. Okay. And if this isn't exact, guys, don't sweat it. Okay. We're never really worried about having it be perfect. And this sort of has more of a angle over here this way. Okay. There we go. And then there's going to be a piece of snow here. So I'm not too worried about putting in that piece there. So again, guys, any of the detail pieces over the top, I'll come back and add afterwards. So I don't really ever paint the edges of my paintings. So if you want to, you can paint the outside lines. But I like to just worry about what you can see on the board here. So I'm going to grab some more paint here. All right, so we're going to come back in here, and we're going to assume that this just comes down right here from this little branch, which really is up to about the second layer, and over just a tad from there. So I'm going to pull this out to a little more of a tip. All right, so this piece, again, it's going to be over a little bit. It's kind of jagged a little bit. And just above that, we're going to have just a little tip. It's got sort of two little bumps on it. Okay. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time coloring these in here. Okay, we know they'll be black. And then this little piece over the top, so it's sort of back over here a little bit more. And got a little angled piece that comes down there. It's got a little gap. There's this little, too far down maybe. Could be. That's okay. So this one comes up a good ways. Okay. We're just going to come over here. And again, guys, you know, if it isn't perfect, that's okay. We're just trying to make sort of an idea that looks kind of similar. Okay. So trying to recreate as best we can, but we're not going to get every little nook and cranny of this wood structure to be exactly like the picture. And that's okay, really. You know, one of the magics of painting is accepting that your version is what was supposed to come out. It's not always, oh, I messed it up. It's like, no, this is the version that you were meant to paint today. And so once you get used to that kind of acceptance of sort of the wild nature of painting, and that's what I like to look at it as. It is sort of a wild nature-ish thing, because we really, you know, we can only control so much, right? We're out here just trying to enjoy ourselves. And really, guys, you know, I haven't gotten into this yet, but if you have followed me for a little bit, you may have heard me drop a couple little pieces of personal development, which is essentially, you know, improving your mindset and how you look at the world, and that determines how you respond to it. And so I'm going to be adding some more of that kind of stuff into my painting, and really, you know, helping people see the world a little better than they currently do. That's really the thing that I love doing with people, is helping shift the viewpoint. And boy, you can really just have an amazing life and do some amazing things when you kind of let go of some of the current struggles and stresses. You know, a lot of the stuff we bring on ourselves, and we try to imagine how the world's going to be, and we guess a lot. We're not always that good at guessing, so I try to focus on what I can control versus what I think. Let's see. So, sort of about here. It kind of has a little doodad that goes like this, and it comes sort of down, not quite all the way down the tree. Okay. Alright. It comes down and sort of connects down here, and I'm just sort of wiggling a little bit. You know, this really isn't going to be a exact straight thing. Okay, so I can kind of jiggle this little brush and give it some uneven edge just a tad. Okay. Alright, so we've got our little tip over here. And that pretty well comes down. There's a little tip over here. Okay. Alright. Just put a little bit in here to give me an idea where we're at. And you can see I haven't had to reload a ton of times. Now, because this is so thin, the coverage is going to be very minimal, right? So we're going over a pretty light color with a dark one, but if you don't continue to add paint consistently back onto your brush, it is going to not cover as well, all right? So again, as you're pulling that off, when you reload, give it a little light touch, just barely touching this little thing, and you can see you can make just these razor sharp lines, okay? And you can get it down to really not much. So I'm going to dip back in the water here, pull back out some of this black. I'm just going to get a bunch of ink going on here while we're playing on our board. Give it a pull, razor tip. All right. Now, we've got our little thing going on here, and I don't know, it's just kind of playing around, and then it comes kind of just sort of straight down. Okay, so we're gonna get the outline of this today, and then we will come back in our final episode and put in all the detail. And that's really what's going to make this thing just explode with amazingness. All of the outlines and the readiness pieces lead up to that final detail. So if you guys are watching this and you've been following along, you're not going to want to miss that final episode. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can make sure you get notified every time I put up these episodes, and then you can support us either way, whether you subscribe or not. But we're gonna continue having a real good time painting, so I'd love to bring you along. So we are up here now. I'm gonna come from this corner and try to come on down, and then I can add these couple little pieces. Okay, so we're talking up and to the left, just about in here. Alright, so I just do this to give myself kind of an indicator. Where is my line? Alright. And then I can just kind of bring it on down. Okay. So again, this doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but we're going to come through there and give ourselves sort of a bumpy little road to work with. Okay. And some of this is going to get covered up with different colors and pieces and whatever. So that's essentially right there in this little corner. And then we've got we've got this big branch over here. Boy, this is our bravery test. So let me pull this out again to that just nice little razor sharp tip. And that will give us almost like a pen. We can really control exactly where this touches. Okay, so we're above our second tree over here, up into our skyline pretty good. Okay, so this guy is going to come right down into here. So this sort of gives us our measure. Boy, these are bravery tests, right? Okay, we're coming down into here. Something like that. Okay. We get it a little bit more of this outside edge work in this direction. Okay. And we're just, again, focusing on the silhouette piece. All right, where's the little dips and grooves and bumps of the outside? So we've got this little, kind of comes up here and just sort of comes out with this little piece right here. All right, you see that little dip? Got one there. Okay, that's good. All right, so it stays fairly thin when we're up. Okay, it's got a little bump out here. We're gonna just pull this down this way. And it comes right down here to just below the sunset line. Okay, so we're going to kind of play in like that, and we can add some little thickness and that kind of stuff where we want. So again, guys, we're just really playing around the outline of this thing and putting it together in a base structure, and then we can come back and really doll it up. We'll give ourselves some time to work on this. Okay. And then I've got one arm here that sort of just sticks out like that. Okay. And this, again, this thinner paint doesn't cover as well. So it's great for a detail on the outside, but you may need to use some thicker paint to really get your coverage there. Okay. So you can see we're sort of up into here, and now we're going to move on to our next little one. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. This is not a rush process in any way. We're really trying to follow along with the true lines of where this comes out and how things look. So appreciate you coming along with me. Now, we're over here. Let's see where we can get this tip up here. So about straight up from that one is a little too much. Okay. So we're almost into our pink up here. That seems a little farther over. About there. Okay. So it sort of comes out this way. And it has a little dip here, like a little triangle. Little tip is a little bit higher there. And it's going to come down. So I've got a little crook there. Just about here. I get to whispering when I'm really concentrating. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. So sometimes this will be silent, and boy, I'm just really focused on painting. But in the future, I'm going to continue painting and do a little more structured talking. So it won't be just me kind of mumbling about whatever the colors are and that sort of thing, which if you like that sort of stuff, awesome. You can ask questions about it as we go along. I may do some live streams as well. So we do have that capability on YouTube here. Alright, so that's a little more of a flat line. Okay, we're just getting our little lines structured out here, and these are a little bit longer like that. Okay. I've got a couple of these little breaks here. So there's one sort of breaks out like that. And I need to come a little more this direction. Come in more like that. So that was not a good angle. It's a good thing this is a thick one. Okay. So again, this is not going to be exact. I am trying to get it fairly close. Okay. So we got our big old branch out there at the top, and dip my water, spread some more ink out here. So I am adding some paint just a little bit as I go, just to kind of create some more of this ink type stuff to work with. And again, always rolling it out, pull the tip. Okay, so that's going to come virtually straight down. Now, here's where we start to get some elevation. Let's these little tiny doodads in here. So this is going to be just to the north of that. Very thin here. And we'll have kind of over here a little bit. And then, well, that comes out almost flat, really. It's not the best angle on that piece. Alright. But we're learning as we go. Keep touching it. Making it go higher. That's okay. It's just going to be what it is. Alright, and then that one comes almost straight up, so we're going to just a little tip there. This is not coming out how I want. There we go. Okay. So keep applying, getting this outline working. A lot of little details. But it's coming out fantastically, and I'm very excited for my buddy John. He's going to be the one actually getting this painting, so I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to varnish it and frame it and really make sort of a big deal out of it for him. He won a contest. I asked for some help deciding what my next painting would be, and he submitted this picture to me, and boy, it's been just a cool little project to work on. So I've been really enjoying myself and trying to put some real time and detail into it. I don't do a ton of realistic painting like this, but the detail stuff, boy, that really just takes it to the next level. So some of these little bumps and grooves that we're putting in here are okay. I just want to block in this color so there's no see-through pieces. You know, this thin oil. It's not oil, but it looks like it. It's almost like ink, but it's thin, so it doesn't really cover that underneath color very well. Okay, so hopefully you guys are following along here. We've got a good little structure going on. I'm just gonna continue painting as I go and really enjoy this process as the outline comes along. So we're right up here to this tip. We're going to make just a little flat kind of piece here, and that comes down in, and it actually comes straight down, little hip. All right, and we're going to make a little thing going on down right here. All right, and we are complete. We have added all of the black into the middle, block this out. We've got the outline of our tree, the silhouette, if you will. And this has been such a fantastic episode. It was a little bit long, so we fast forwarded some of it for you to save some time. But you can see how we really dot out the points of where the connectors are, the bends in the tree and the tips and the ends in relation to the things around it as reference points. And we were able to get this fantastic tree really in perspective with where it shows up in our picture. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me through this. We are going to come back with one more episode here and add the details of the tree and really make it shine for this painting. So I appreciate you guys' time, and we will see you in the next one.